And now, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stop at Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. Poof Deodorant Body Powder, the body powder you spray. The Nest Shampoo, the new flowing cream shampoo. All in the first truly functional cosmetic containers, far easier to use. All created by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist. Time now to enjoy What's My Line?
And now let's meet our What's My Line panel of well-known personalities whose lines you already know. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers Coast to Coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, a gentleman who is famous for being the husband of Phyllis Cerf and the father of Christopher and Johnny Cerf, Bennett Cerf.
On my left is the wife of Martin Gable, Lucky Steph, who's known professionally as Arlene Dimples Francis.
And on my left, our child panelist, Dimples Blanc.
So don't rub it in, I'm single. And on my left, my favorite master of ceremonies, a man who's going to do a show for Leo DeRocher called What's My Lineup? John Dale.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line, presented by Stopette. Once again tonight, we've got some nice people in from a good deal of interesting American countryside, and they have interesting and varied occupations. They hope, and I hope, that we'll give the panel some trouble and they'll carry home some prize money. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program. But now, to start things rolling, it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger, whose job they've got to spot. Will you sign in, please, sir? Walter Barrow, is that right, sir? Would you be good enough to tell us, first of all, where you live?
I live in North Hollywood, California.
North Hollywood, California. And this button tells me that you're here with the American Legion Convention.
That is correct.
You a delegate?
That's right.
Well, welcome, and I certainly hope that you and all your brethren enjoy your stay in New York.
Thanks a lot.
Now, our friends over there on the panel want to see you a little more of you, so you walk there for me, will you?
May I lift your hands, please? Thank you.
That mustache is real, isn't it?
That is correct.
All right, Mr. Barrow, will you come
Want
over
to
here
take it
now?
off?
Sit down next to me, and on the basis of your handwriting, the look that our friends have had at you, and certainly the knowledge that you come all the way from Los Angeles, will give them one free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a professor of etymology.
A professor of etymology, Mr. Cerf.
I think he's one of the Keystone Comedy cops.
Miss Francis.
Well, I think he's vice president of a bank.
Mr.
I
Blunt.
hope.
Well, he's nice looking. He has better than average intelligence, I could take it. He looks like a nice American. I'd say that he's a representative for the Legionnaires.
The representative for the Legionnaires. Well, that's true in some degree, but that's not his line. Nobody had it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Barrow, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel will have to dig. Mr. Barrow, what happens from here on in is that every time you give the panel a no answer, it costs them $5. We keep the record up here. 10 no's are $50, and you have won the game. Mr. Barrow is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Barrow, do you work indoors?
Sometimes.
Do you work in what might be called an office?
Yes.
Do you work in a horizontal, no. Do you work in a vertical position? Do you stand at your job?
Not always.
But sometimes, so we leave you go.
So that you could also sit down at your job?
That is right.
Do you sell anything?
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Block.
Do you deal with both sexes?
I do.
Would I ever likely come into...
You take a shot at this answer, and if it's not right, I'll correct. Don't worry.
I think it would be a good idea.
I'm not too sure that this kid is in business. You mean you could just tell that from just looking at me?
From watching you over 2 years, yes.
You've been watching for over 2 years? Well, bless you. Is it something that the services that you purvey, is it something that you have to have a special amount of talent for?
That's right.
And this is a talented fellow. He's been watching for 2 years. Do you happen to have any special type of tools that you use in your trade?
Yes.
Does your trade have anything to do with health?
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with reducing?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, I take it does improve people, or it would improve Hal in some way if he used your service.
Couldn't miss.
Would it improve his behavior?
Nothing can improve that.
I would say we'd hope it would. wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Might it also improve a person's physical appearance?
It could,
Yes,
yeah.
it could.
And it does something else besides all that?
Yes.
Do you have to come into physical contact with the person in order to perform this service?
Not necessarily.
Well, no, you're the expert. If you say not necessarily. I've never been myself, you know. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Barrow, do you deal with any particular part of people's bodies, specifically,
Yes.
to the exclusion of the other parts?
Yes.
Would the part of the body that you specialize in be below the waist?
No. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Preston.
Do you need special training in your job?
Definitely.
Do you, you say it can help the health, but it would also make Hal Block feel better in another way.
Hey, let's leave me out of it.
I'm using you as, if you'll pardon the expression, a guinea pig. You said you sat down at your work sometimes. Would you be any kind of a doctor?
I am.
And is the part of the body that you're interested in from the waist up someplace?
Yes.
I think I know. I hate that daily.
We sometimes call the kind of a doctor I have in mind a head doctor. Would you have something to do with the mind,
I do.
the mentality, and Freud, and so forth?
That's right.
Would you be...
How do you know so much about that?
I must dare, Charlie. Would you be considered an analyst of some kind?
No.
Nah, not...
Oh,
Shall we give her another chance?
I'm going to
only
do
one
it.
other kind.
I know.
We'll have to give you a no on the analyst. You try it, Mr. Clark.
Psychiatrist?
Psychiatrist
That's
is right.
Dirty couches, no waiting?
I have it in my pocket.
Well, Dr. Barrow, now we can call you by your real name. Thanks very much for coming to visit us. You've done fairly well with the prizes. And
What
Too bad you
about
didn't do so well with the patients.
I don't know, you know,
Right down, Dr. Barrow.
I'll give you my card if you want to.
we might even finance his trip to Los Angeles.
That's
We certainly are glad that you could finance one to come and see us. Nice to see you, sir. Bye-bye. All right, let's see what we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, sir? Edward Fay. Is that right, sir? Now, Mr. Fay, tell us where you live.
3042 Grand Concourse.
Oh, you're a New Yorker,
City.
then. Under pressure, I got a badge, too. I'm a deputy sheriff of Westchester County. Got a new boss, Sheriff Hoy. This I had happen after we had a little trouble with Brother Block. Now I get psychiatrist badges. What is your badge?
Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus. Well, good. Nice to have a knight with us, too. Would you go down and visit our friends on the panel? They would like to see you. A little more of you, please.
Shake hands, Mr. Fay.
Isn't he cute?
Yes. Very glad to see
Well,
you
shake
today.
hands with all of us.
Can I feel your muscles?
All right, Mr. Fay, will you come over here now and sit down next to me? And on the basis of that fine, bold handwriting of yours, and all of the handshaking you did, we give our friends at this point one free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he has something to do with the zoo.
Mr. Sir.
I think he's a detective.
Miss Francis.
I think he has something to do with metals, but I don't know what it is.
Mr. Block.
I think he manufactures permanent rights for Tommy Manville.
No, it does not. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Fay, and at the same time we'll tell them what his line is. The panel will have to dig. Mr. Fay, you heard me explain the rules. Every no answer, you know, and we keep the record up here. 10 no's, you've won the game. One more bit of help for the panel. Mr. Fay is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Mr. Block.
Mr. Fay, do you deal in a product?
No.
Small conference. Do you deal in a product?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened?
We just changed our minds.
Is this a product that's used in the home?
Yes.
Is it used by housewives?
Yes.
Does it make them happier?
Yes.
Yeah, in a way, it makes them happier.
Is it by any chance an intimate product? Does it come in direct contact with the body?
Yes.
What are they laughing at? Is it something that is ever used all over the body?
No.
Well, I think Mr. Fay might agree that when it's used, you might put it all over the body, mightn't you? On some occasions?
On some occasions, yes.
On some occasions? Like New Year's? Is it something that might be used after a hot bath?
No, I wouldn't think so. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is this something that could be used by gentlemen, too?
Could it be used by gentlemen? Yeah, gentlemen could use it, couldn't they?
Is this something that's bought in a store?
I didn't hear that.
Is it something that's bought in a store?
Yes.
Is it a manufactured product?
Yes, it's
Yes.
manufactured.
Could I buy it in a department store? A
Yes.
large department store?
Yes.
Is it something that you would keep in a cupboard if you had it at home?
Is it something you'd keep in a cupboard if you had it
Yes.
at home?
That is, in other words, it wouldn't be always on display like a piece of furniture. Is that
That's
correct?
right. It wouldn't be on display. It would be in a cupboard. That's right.
Does it ever come in a bottle?
Does it ever come in a bottle?
No.
No bottles. 2 down, 8 to go. Mr. Surf.
Mr. Fay, would this article that you deal with in any sense be apparel?
Would it be apparel in any sense? No, no apparel. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
But its purpose, I understand from what you say, is that you do put it on. I mean,
Well,
it touches the skin
What
in
has
some
been
way.
determined is that it's put on the body.
It is put on the body.
Yes.
Would you buy it in a drugstore?
Yes.
Would it be considered in any way a medicine in some circumstances?
Well, let's see.
Well,
Do you two want to be alone?
actually, I think if Mr. Fay is agreeable, that in the broadest possible concept you would call it a medicine. Huh?
Yes.
Is it a powder of some kind?
Yes.
Do humans use it?
No.
Oh, I shouldn't have asked it that way.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to have a small conference with Mr. Fay.
I know a human that uses it.
Bennett, you're just self-conscious.
We have decided human beings do use it sometimes. Yes.
So it could be used by a human being.
Yes.
Yes.
But it is usually used on animals.
Yes.
Is it used to do away with something tiny and lively?
Yes.
Anyone we know?
Could it be in the flea powder family?
Yes.
Is that it?
What does Mr. Fay do with flea powder?
What does he do with flea powder?
Yeah, what's his relationship?
Does he make it? No, he sells it.
He sells it. That's all. We'll give him one more note because you said make it first. He sells flea powder. Mr. Fay, you've done fairly well with the prizes, And we hope you had a lot of fun. It was very good of you
And
to come
happy
and join
fleas.
us on What's My Line. It's nice to see you. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends over on the panel would recognize our guest on sight, so they're blindfolded. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Just about.
Good. Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? Now, will you come over here and join me? And, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with all the usual preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Kilgallen.
Are you in the entertainment business?
Yes.
Do you ever appear on the stage?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Sir.
I noticed some laughter in the audience when you came in. Are you accustomed to making people laugh?
Yes.
Tonight is the night.
Have you ever devoted your mirth-provoking activities to the screen?
Yes.
Have you appeared in a great number of motion pictures? Numerous motion pictures, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Do you ever perform any of your roles using a foreign accent of any kind?
No.
No is the answer to that. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, I noticed that most of the screams were from girls. Would you be Bobby Soxer's Delight?
Bobby Sox's Delight?
Hey, it sounds that way, doesn't it?
No.
No, Bobby Sox's Delight, he says. He's modest. Go on, Mr. Block, you're next. 3 down, 7 to go.
Who was screaming there? Octogenarians? Have you appeared in a movie in the last year?
Yes.
Would you mind speaking a little louder?
That's loud enough, Mr. Block. You go ahead.
Comedians are usually louder.
Yes, I know. Go on.
Bye. Have you appeared within the last, let's say, 2 months, have you appeared in a picture on Broadway?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
You know, Minnie Mouse doesn't sound as quiet as this. Are you using your regular voice?
Yeah, he's making no special attempt to disguise it.
And this is how he's funny?
Look how you made your living for years. Go on, Mr. Block.
I hate this whole group. I take it for granted you've never starred in a picture.
Well, you want to pose the question, have you ever starred or have you never starred in a picture? You pose the question.
I would say that he has starred in a picture from what you said.
Have you starred in a picture?
Yes.
Go on, Mr. Block.
I'm a doll tonight. I'll pass to Dorothy.
All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you a comedian under 45 years old?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sir.
Have you ever worn a mustache?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, you're over 45. Do you play sort of butler's parts ever?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Block.
Are there any other parts? Do we have a small comp?
You may have 15 seconds for a conference.
Maybe the cowboy or something.
But a comedian cowboy? I never heard of.
I haven't any ideas, Hal. I'm sorry.
And you usually have something.
I know. Not a weenie in the world.
All right, Mr. Block, the 15 seconds are up. You're it.
Have you ever done television?
Yes.
Have you ever been up for a series on television?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Are you on now on television on a series?
Yes.
Are you on CBS?
That's difficult to answer, Mr. Block.
Mr. Paley, forgive me.
Go ahead, Mr. Block.
That's difficult to answer?
Yes, it would
Well,
be.
let us say, is he on some dull network outside of CBS?
Yes.
Are you on once a week on a half-hour show?
Yes.
Gee, I wish I knew. I guess I'll pass again.
All right, Miss Kilgallen?
Do you do anything besides be funny? That is, do you sing or play a musical instrument or dance?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Do you appear in some kind of a series of character parts like I Love Lucy, playlets, rather than monologues?
No.
Not playlets, I
The
don't
greatest
think.
no man I ever heard.
Miss Francis, 8 down and 2 to go.
Did your voice crack a little bit? Did I hear it crack a little bit a couple of times? Are you known at all for a cracking voice?
Yes.
Are you sort of a large fellow?
Yes.
Oh!
I have seen you in cowboy costumes sometimes, haven't I? Sort of Western kind of things, once in a while?
Yes.
Oh.
Is you Andy, Mr. Devine?
Andy Devine. Hey, don't joke.
Play with my wife and fighting you.
I thought you always talk like that.
He co-starred with my wife and fighting you.
Why, sure. Well, let's see. We've got a little more than 3 minutes,
This
Ben.
was
Let's
in
see what you
silent
can do
pictures,
with
of
another
course.
challenger. Will you sign in, please, sir? He doesn't sound like Harold Fisk. Mr. Fisk, how are you? Where are you from?
Tacoma, Washington.
Tacoma, Washington. Will you walk down in front of the panel, turn right around and walk back again? Time's fleeting. All right, Mr. Fisk, right back here, if you will, and sit down next to me. And now, panel, on the basis of that very quick look, the signature, and the fact that Mr. Fisk comes from Tacoma, Washington, a free guess as to his line, which will begin with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he manufactures bathtubs.
Mr. Cerf.
He's a banker.
Miss Francis.
I think he teaches in a school.
Mr. Block.
I think he manufactures anti-chlorophyll pills for people who like to smell things.
No, I'm afraid you're all wrong. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. Fisk, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. The panel has to dig. You heard me explain the rules, Mr. Fisk. You're aware that every time you give them a no answer, $5. We keep the record up here. We'll give you one more bit of help. Mr. Fisk is salaried. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mr. Fisk, do you perform some kind of services?
Yes, sir.
Do they require skill and training of some
sir.
sort? Do you deal with both sexes?
Yes, sir.
Lucky.
Do you go to people rather than them coming to you?
Yes, sir.
Well, do they send for you as opposed to your going from house to house?
Yes, sir.
When you get there, do you give them some kind of help?
Yes, sir.
You solve some kind of problem for them?
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything to do with the belongings of these people? Do you do something with their furniture?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you change the appearance of the furniture?
I think what we could say is that Mr. Fisk has something to do on occasion with the changing of the appearance of the furniture.
Well, could you be classified in any sense as an interior decorator?
No interior decorator. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, if he ever does anything to the furniture, could he be something in the category of house wrecker?
No. I say not. 2 down and 8 to go.
Well, I mean
Mr.
professionally. I didn't mean on purpose.
Oh, no.
Not to be mean.
He's no house wrecker. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Block, and 1 minute to go.
Would the people like you to do what you do?
Yes, I think people like.
You mean you
to do
don't
what
know?
do. Yes.
Well, do you approve the appearance of whatever place that you...
Does he improve the appearance?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we can say you improve the appearance. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you solve a very dire problem when people send for you?
Yes.
Is it in an emergency?
Yes.
And anything that you do to their furniture that hurts it, is that in the line of duty? Are you a fireman?
No.
Well,
No.
he's not a fireman, no. That's 4 down and 6 to go, and...
Well, are you the head of a fire department?
Did you call on him?
I was
Chief?
just about to say better sir, but I think he did. He is a fire chief. That's right. The fire chief of Tacoma, Washington. Thanks very much. Hope you had fun. It was nice to have you on What's My Line. Good night, Mr. Fisk. Thanks for coming to see us. And now, in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a preview look at one of our guests whose line our panel is going to be asked to try and identify on next week's... And next week at the same time, our panel of experts will be asked, what's my line by this man? Would you know what his occupation is? Could you spot his line? Well, for the answers to these questions and a good many others, be sure and tune in again next Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, when once again, Stopette invites you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and the time of our weekly series. Until then, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Bennett.
Good night, Arlene.
Good night, Hal.
And happy fleas, John.
Well, I wasn't going to... Well, I won't. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Produced in association with the CBS Television Network.